All right, guys, welcome back to Loan Officer Success Live. I'm your host, Devin Dubuque, and today I've got published author, money coach for women, divorce specialist, Elizabeth Rose in the house, hailing from the Dallas-Fort Worth. Hey, welcome to the show, Elizabeth. Super excited to have you on today. Thank you for joining us.
Oops. Thank you. I just clicked my mic button and the screen went wild. It's great to be here, Devin. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, the screen went wild because you are here, right? That's we've got awesomeness in the house and it didn't know what to do. It was just like, boom, there she is. So,
oh, you're too much. We should just stop right there and end the day on a high note.
All right. Well, end stream. Sorry, guys. That's how you're going to get today. Well, you know, you and I met on the LOS.Live morning show and just love what you were talking about. And I thought, man, we got to get you over here and educate the audience and just tell them that there's folks out there like you that are doing great things. And, you know, that's why we brought you here. So I'd love to start with just getting to know you a little bit. So we know you're here in the DFW and, you know, we know that you've done all these amazing things, but where'd you grow up originally? Are you originally a Dallas native?
No, I have been here for 27 years. I have to always stop and think. But I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm a Georgia peach
I love
by
it.
birth.
I love it. So I'm actually 25 years here and I came in from Kansas. I'm a Kansas kid. So
Oh, good old Midwestern boy.
that's it. That's it, you know, and wanted to go to the city and do good, right? And here we are. So so you came in from Georgia and you grew up there, go to school there. What did that look like?
Yeah, so I was born and raised there. And I remember a time, this is kind of funny. I was in my mid 30s, married, and we were at a Braves game. And my husband, ex-husband now, was hosting a bunch of clients and making, people were moving around the suite, making small talk. And somebody asked me, he goes, "Where are you from?" And I said, "Well, I'm from Atlanta." He goes, "No, I mean, like, where are you really from? Where were you born?" And I said, "I was born here." And he said, "I've never met anybody born in Atlanta." And I was like, "Well, yeah, here we are."
You know, that's fine. Yeah, that's kind of how I felt when I first moved out here to Dallas, Fort Worth. I'd run into people like, "Where are you from?" And not Texas, right? Now, since I've been here for 25 years now, that's not always the case. But when I first moved here, I felt like nobody was from Texas, right? So very funny. So you grew up in Atlanta and
Went to school there.
Yeah.
First marriage was there. Second marriage was there. And then we relocated to Texas. My ex-husband had a job transfer.
Okay.
So that's what brought us here.
Yeah.
And, it's funny. I was talking to one of my daughters the other day, and she reminded me of when we came, and we came reluctantly. My kids were in middle school and first year of high school. And so the middle schooler, the younger one, was telling me the other day, she's not in middle school anymore. But she was telling me, she goes, "Mom, do you remember when you brought us here? We seriously thought, and our friends teased us, that we were coming out to like cowboy world, like not Dallas Cowboys, but like cowboys, a Western scene from a movie."
Yeah.
And
Cowboy
like
hats,
dark
Wrangler
ages.
jeans.
Exactly.
You know, that's funny that you say that because when I first moved out here, we had a friend that was from Kansas as well. And she said that when she was moving to the DFW, she actually had put together a signed budget so that she could actually outfit her wardrobe to match exactly what you just described, right? She's thinking, I got to get a hat, I got to get the boots. And she gets here and she's like, "Oh no, they're just normal people."
Look just like me.
Like everybody else, right? Now, I'm not going to say you can't find a cowboy in Texas, right? We
Right.
definitely have our cowboys. You hit up to Fort Worth, go to the rodeo, you're going to see plenty of cowboy action up there, right? You know, but at the end of the day, if you're not from DFW and haven't been out here, just wear what you wear.
Exactly. Just come as you are.
Come as you are. I love it. I love it. So, so you grew up and you said, "Man, I want to be in mortgage and I want to, specialize in divorce." certification, right? Like, was that how it all kind of came? And I'm going to write a book. Like, this is all, that was it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's interesting how I think when we're young, we think that we're supposed to know all that stuff.
Right.
We're supposed, we look at older people, maybe in their 50s or 60s or even older, maybe our grandparents, and we're like, okay, well, they got out of school and they knew exactly what they were going to do. And they just went and did their life and everything fell into place perfectly. And it's not that way. It's a
Not so
journey.
much.
Yeah. I mean, I left for college, not to tell a story on my dad, but my dad was, from a different generation, and he
Yeah.
encouraged me to go major in secretarial science, which, I mean, can you imagine that was actually a degree? And I luckily I was like, no way, no way am I doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was a different time, right? That was a different time. What is it? Suits, or what's the one? There's a TV series all about that, right? Like, but that's
Exactly.
not the case, right? That's not the case. And at the end of the day, I think a lot of the times the ladies are doing a lot better than the guys. You guys just outwork us, right? And that's just all there is to it, right? But so you decide, I'm not going to be a secretary. And what was the original game plan?
Well, if I could even go back to like when I was a teenager, my
Mhm.
plan was to be a ballet dancer in the New York Ballet. And I wanted to also be and I didn't even really know for sure if this was a thing, but I wanted to read books and
Yeah.
then be a book critic. I thought, like, what a great way to spend your life, just sitting on the couch or sitting on a lounge chair, reading books, and then telling the world what you think about them. And the problem with the ballet dream was that I didn't like going to ballet.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be the dancer.
Yeah.
So my mom used to have to like drag me to ballet. So that wasn't going to work out. That wasn't going to be in my
That
future.
wasn't it. So that was the
No,
dream that never came true, right?
correct.
And so
And
now we
then
shift gears.
and so we shift gears, go off to college. I bounce around with majors trying to figure out, what I want to be when I grow up. And I started out in marketing. And
Mm,
then, so here we are today on a show like this.
that's
My
right.
big fear and what made me leave the marketing program was they wanted us to get on video and do some recordings. And I was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
And here you are.
Yeah.
Why?
And the other thing that I was absolutely terrified of was speech class and having to give speeches and presentations. And yet I have spent the last 15 or maybe longer than that years doing just that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's crazy how we can have a fear and then there's something that comes along in life. We don't plan it oftentimes and it just happens and it gets us over that hurdle.
I love that. And I love that you said that, right? Because you never know. There could be somebody listening or, going back to the replay and hear that and go, man, I am terrified of being on video and I'm terrified of speaking out in public. And what you're saying is, here's Elizabeth Rose literally live on 5 channels right now, and, you're doing it and you're out there doing this and you've done so many great things, right? So we go from that, and how do we get into this space, right? Like, how do we get over here?
Well, it's not as much by accident as a lot of people land in this
Mm,
space. Mine was a little bit more by design. When I got out of college, I got a job in banking, went through a lot of different phases of banking. I
yeah.
was in a management program, so they want you to work in almost every department. And so I had been moving through, I started in the retail and then started doing consumer lending and then went into commercial lending and acquisition and development. And in the acquisition and development department, we had some big builders.
Okay.
And I got really lucky to land the role of going out and inspecting the properties and doing the draws and facilitating a lot that went on with the construction lending of residential construction. Now I'm in
Okay.
the commercial division, which I love commercial, but I'm now working with residential builders. And At the same time, I have an older brother who is in the architect and design space. And I think some of his interests rubbed off on me because I used to, in my spare time, I used to love to sit while I'm watching TV at night and draw house plans, and
Right.
I would just sit there and I create one house plan after another. And so here I am, like, I have this like interest, this true interest in real estate, and I'm in the finance world. And so it just seemed like such a great marriage of
Right.
two things I enjoyed. And so one day, fast forward a number of years, I had left banking. I was staying home with the kids. I was wanting a part-time job,
Mm.
and I was looking for things. And my ex-husband and I are in the club after he had played golf, and we run into a neighbor. My husband introduces me, and he said he's in the mortgage business. I was like, huh, okay. Like, so what does that look like? What do
Yeah.
you
What does that
do?
mean? Right.
And he starts telling me, and I was like, bingo.
Mm.
That's what I've been looking for.
Yeah.
And so I started working with him. That was in the dark ages. It was in the mid 90s. So marketing looked like here's the yellow pages and go call people.
Right.
And that was the
And
marketing
good luck.
plan.
Go get them.
Yeah, you got this.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then I never will forget, he said, I'm going to teach you how to price a loan. And I said, okay. So he hands me a rate sheet, which were printed back then,
I
that had all
remember.
the
Yeah.
adjustments. And he said, calculate a rate. And I'm like, well, like, are you going to show me how? He's like, no, just read the rate sheet. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So I learned everything in very much the old school way,
Yeah.
pen and paper, and uh, doing things for myself, like not really being taught, not
Yeah,
really
nobody
being
to lean
shown.
into. You had to lean into yourself, pick it up, figure it out, and just get out there and go after it. And I love that you say that because, when I first got into the industry, I ran into the same thing. There was really no training, there was no guidance. It was just, hey, we've signed up with these lenders, figure it out, right? And then it was a combination of reading through the rate sheets, going through the guidelines, and contacting the representatives and hoping they'd answer the phones, right?
Right.
To get them to guide you through, and that was it. And I love that that's not the case for a lot of folks anymore. I feel like we're finally getting to a place in our industry where people are out there educating and training and helping guide people through. And, that's why I started the show. Loan Officer Success Live was all about bringing on great people like yourself, Elizabeth, and saying, hey, guys, we're going to show you the way, right? We're going to show you and guide you to how you can have success in your business. So you're stumbling through and you're trying to figure out a rate sheet and you're learning this industry literally on your own, right? And let's go from there.
And taking applications by hand.
Carbon
I
copy
never will
paper.
forget, like having to take the application and put it in on one of the software platforms.
Yeah,
And it's like, why can't they make the software look like the application? Because they're in different orders. And it was just like, ah.
that's
But
it.
yeah, so I came up through that. And I do think that people coming into the business today, or even 10 years ago, or even 15 years ago, have a greater advantage because we have come such a long way. There
We
is
have.
so much training available, mentorship,
That's
coaching
right.
programs, and then shows like yours that are helping people. And one of the things that I like to do whenever I feel like I'm in a little bit of a slump is I'll go on YouTube and start pulling up recordings like
I
this,
love that. Yeah.
listening to stuff, and like getting my mojo back and getting that excitement and energy back to go get over whatever that hurdle is. So it's just great
Yeah,
what you're
it
doing.
is. It is. Well, I appreciate that. And it's great what you're doing too. So let's talk about published author and money coach for women, because I think those things are really exciting. And I think that's why if anybody tuned in, that's probably what they really want to. They don't want to hear us talk about what the mortgage company used to, or business used to be, and how we got started. But, what does it mean to be a money coach? And how are you helping empower women with what services that you provide? Let's talk about that.
Okay, great. Well, I realized in the early 2000s, I went through my second divorce, and I realized that I was walking through everything in a fog. I was making decisions from emotion and not making very good decisions.
Yeah.
And those can just really not just handicap us in the moment, but they can set us up for a difficult time ahead. And so in 2015, Jody Bruins started a designation, an educational platform for the divorce space, which I was really excited to see because I was wanting to do something like this, but I wasn't
Right.
sure how to get the word out without sounding like I'm an ambulance chaser. I'm not for
Are you
divorce.
getting a divorce? Hey, are you getting a divorce?
Right, right.
Hey, I can help you. No, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, and the thing is I'm not for divorce, but I am for helping people that are going through it.
Empowerment.
Empowerment,
Yeah.
yes, and equipping. And I think what often happens, and this could be a divorce or a widowed situation, you with divorce particularly, there's a lot of shame that can be associated, even if you didn't or feel like you didn't do anything wrong. It's just
Yeah.
it just feels icky. And
Mm,
so people are reluctant to talk. And so they're reluctant to grab a team around them to help support them and walk them through it, unless maybe it's their best friend.
yeah.
Well, the best friend probably isn't a good legal advisor, probably isn't a good tax advisor, probably isn't a good financial advisor.
Might hate your ex-husband.
It might hate your ex-husband. Right, right. It might be fueling the fire.
That's it. Just
So
pouring it on.
So I stepped up and joined that program and got a deeper education of the nuances
Mhm.
that go with not only the financing aspect, but how that dovetails in with taxation, with the legal stuff, with the income, all the different pieces,
Yeah.
because it's so important to be able to like integrate everything as opposed to having the lawyer over here, the financial person over here, the tax person over here. You got to bring it all together to have a
Yeah.
cohesive plan to go forward. And ideally, you want both parties to be able to move forward successfully.
Agree.
This isn't about him versus her or her versus
Amen.
him. It's
Amen.
helping equip the person for their next season of life.
Yeah, let's take away the stress and let's work
Exactly.
together to come up with a solution that we can both walk away with and feel good about, or as good as we can.
As good as we can. And so that actually spawned me writing the book.
Mm,
And writing the book was it was a challenge because I wrote it once and it was good information, but it wasn't like good reading material.
right.
And so when I went to write it again, I realized I really needed to put my heart into it. And to put my heart into it, I had to tell stories.
Okay.
And to tell stories, I had to be really vulnerable. I had to be willing to put some things in print about my situation
Yeah.
that maybe I wasn't ready for my kids to see in print.
Mm,
I mean, they knew the stories, they lived the life, but
they're part of it. Yeah.
they're part of it. And
Yeah,
so I'm telling part of their story too. So that took a lot of courage. It really
it
did.
does. Yeah.
And then, once we got through all the different phases of editing and they said, we're ready to go as final document, I was like, oh gosh, are we really going to publish this thing? Is it really going to
This
be
is
real?
happening.
It's
This is
happening.
I'm scared to put myself out there, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It can be scary.
100%.
And so then after the book, I was
There's
like,
some
okay, well, now
vulnerable
what? Like, you don't
you're
just write a
vulnerable there.
book and walk away. Got to do something with it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that led me into really ramping up coaching with women, helping them, whether they're divorced, married, widowed, never been married before, it doesn't matter. It's
Yeah.
about equipping because we both know that our education system has failed us. And adults are trying to teach their soon to be adult children, their teenagers and their middle
Right.
schoolers, about money. And yet we don't know. And there's so much we haven't been taught.
You're right. Yeah.
And I think it's just time. It's time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I talk about this all the time because, it's not just about what we're not taught. It's also about some of the things that we are taught. And in our adult life, a lot of the times we're reprogramming our brain because those bad habits have to be transitioned so that we can become successful. Right. And
Absolutely.
so, a lot of it is not just, the new education, but it's also getting rid of the bad education that we received so that we can receive the new education and get past our limiting beliefs. So I love that you're out there empowering, with the book and with everything that you're doing, because we do need to reprogram our brains, and we do need direction, and we need somebody that's going to guide us through, and that's what you're doing. You're providing a voice for those people that are in need. And by the way, what's the name of the book? What's it? If we've got somebody tuning in and they want to go grab a copy, which they should, what's the name of the book?
Well, it's on Amazon, and the name of the book is Sister, Own Your Finances.
Mm,
And, coming up with titles hard too. And what I wanted to do with the title is like just say, like, own it, like take responsibility, take hold of it, and let's go get it. And you're so right about the bad stuff we've got to get rid of, the
yeah,
old, negative, incorrect information, the myths. We have to dispel that. But you can't just like talk yourself into it. You've got to replace it with the right information. So
that's
it's a
it.
process.
Yeah, that's
And
it.
I think it's probably one that we will have to work with our whole life.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
never that moment in time where you're like, okay, I got it. I got it. I got rid of all the bad data in there.
yeah,
Because something
yeah.
will sneak in and you'll be like, oh, I didn't know that was lying back there still.
That's it. Well, so obviously, people need to go out and pick up the book, right? So they need to pick up Sister, Own Your Finances. Okay. That's step one, and read the book, right? But, how are we coaching, women, for their, to improve their money positioning and their positioning in life? Like, what does that look like?
Well, I do have a private Facebook group and it's free. And then I've got a coaching program. I'm going to start another session in late August. I haven't nailed down the date yet. But as far as the coaching itself, I talk about, getting clear
Yeah.
and setting your goals. Like, what are your dreams? What are the dreams that maybe you've stuffed and said, oh, that'll never happen for me? Let's pull them out. Let's dust them off. Let's get them in shape. And then let's take a look at our situation. Where are we? Where are we in relationship to where we want to go? Where are the gaps? What puzzle pieces need to be put in there so that we can start building, create the stepping stones so that we can start stepping over them to get to that place that we want to go. And
Yeah,
everybody's different. Everybody's starting from a different place.
that's true. That's true. So,
But it's
well,
really exciting though when you see somebody have a transformation
mm,
or see a possibility that they had just given up on because they think I'm too old. It'll never happen for me. I've tried before and it didn't work. I'm not good enough. All those negative thoughts we tell ourselves.
yeah, yeah. Well, I'm just excited to have you on here today, just sharing, the things that you're doing out there and the healing, that you're providing people, because that is a difficult process. And, it is a struggle for a lot of people. And just not having the right answers or the right person to turn to. And the fact that you're out there doing this for free, in a lot of cases with your coaching groups, I mean, you're just a special kind of awesome, Elizabeth. And that's why, I wanted to bring you on the show, is just to showcase, that there are great people out there like you that are there to help, right? And the fact that you took a very vulnerable situation and you turned it into an opportunity to help others, God bless you for that, you know.
Well, thank you. I think it's important for all of us to remember that there is success in our struggles, that our pain can lead to purpose and
Mhm.
prosperity. We just have to look for those open doors and the way to use it because everything that you've been through, the listener's been through, is something that somebody else is about to go through and you can
Yeah.
help them. And so
Yeah.
it's just sort of paying it forward and bringing people along.
Well, that's exactly what it is, is
Mhm.
paying it forward. And, if there's a good piece of advice out there for somebody that's going through it right now, right? They've just gotten in the situation where they know this marriage isn't going to work out. And I'm looking at a divorce, right? Like where do they get started to figure out how to piece that together?
Well, I would invite them to reach out to me for sure. But the most important thing you can do is surround yourself with some professionals. And that could be a professional counselor, professional financial person that is specialized in divorce.
Yeah.
Don't go just straight to the attorney. The attorney knows the law, but the attorney cannot help you on your healing journey. He cannot help you on your financial journey. So you need a professional team around you.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine you probably have some resources there too that you can advise people to. Am I correct about that?
Absolutely. I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah. So, guys, if you're tuning in, you can probably see it running right across the bottom of the screen. But you can find Elizabeth at One Elizabeth Rose, and that's on all social platforms. Is that correct, Elizabeth?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So go check that out. And I also dropped a link to her book, which you can see it behind her. If she moves just a little bit, you can see the cover photo. I think the other way. There it is. Sister, Own Your Finances. And this is going to give you a great opportunity to do a little bit of healing and make sure that you're on the path for recovery if you're going through that tough time, those difficult times. And if you need somebody, again, go check out her channel, tune in and get some free coaching from what I'm hearing, right?
Absolutely. The more the merrier.
Well,
Hey, we're all in this together. And I think, if you can find a community that speaks to your heart and that can help you become the better version of yourself in every area of life, there's power in community.
There's power in community. And, that's how we found each other, was in a community, right?
Exactly.
Scott Hudspeth, I love to bring him up. What a great guy, and the MLO.Live community. By the way, guys, if you don't check that one out, go to MLOLiveshow.com. We do a live stream every Monday through Thursday at 8 a.m. Central. I'm a co-host on that one. You can also check that out here on the live stream. But that's a community, right? This is a community of people that are helping each other, lifting each other up. Or if you're in a situation where you need Elizabeth, right? You need a money coach for women and somebody that's going to help guide you through, go check out Elizabeth. And you can find her here again at One Elizabeth Rose on all social platforms. And that's, again, scrolling right across the screen. So, jot that down, go check her out. And if you're in a position where you need some of that life coaching, I can promise you she is more than qualified to guide you through. So any closing messages today, Elizabeth? Anything you want to put out there before we wrap up today?
Oh gosh, I didn't even think about that.
We'll put you on the spot.
Put me on the spot. That's okay. I can hang with it. I just reiterate, there's a lot of support that comes with being in a community.
Yeah.
And I think that that's missing today, ever since 2020 happened. I won't mention that word, but ever since 2020, I think people are feeling more and more isolated and disconnected. And I'm making an effort to get out more and connect more. And I would just encourage everybody else to do that. There is power in numbers.
There is.
There's hope out there. There's help out there. There's support. There's encouragement. So go get you some.
There's people that care, and one of those people at the top of the list is Elizabeth Rose, guys. So go check her out. And again, I'm going to run that banner back one more time. You can find her at One Elizabeth Rose. That's at One Elizabeth Rose, and that's on all platforms. And, if you want to check us out, you're probably already here, but we stream on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And, this is LOS.Live. You can find us on the web at www.LOS.Live. But we appreciate you tuning in. And Elizabeth, thank you so much for showing up. Guys, if you heard this and you know somebody that needs what Elizabeth has, right? Somebody that needs that healing power, right? Share this with the 3 people that you know that need it. But I think we're probably going to call it on this one. So thank you guys for tuning in today. And we're going to see you on the next one. So keep coming back every single week. We've got all kinds of cool stuff and great people like Elizabeth out there empowering you to achieve the best version of yourself. So thanks so much, guys. We will see you on the next one.